My Hero Academia Season 5 Episode 13 is out, and with this new episode we skip an entire arc like it's nobody's business and we see the students of UA enjoy a happy Christmas. Still kinda annoyed they changed the story's order, but I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. This episode covers 2 chapters from the My Hero manga, following the events of chapter 241 and 242. And so, without further ado, let's jump right into My Hero Academia Season 5 Episode 13 titled, Have a Merry Christmas. And as usual, don't forget to Detroit smash that like button and slide into that subscribe button's DMs to hit that notification bell. This episode opens up ominously, with shots of a crumbling Daika City and a shirtless, bruised, battered and bloody Shigaraki laughing to himself maniacally. So mysterious. If only there was an entire fan-beloved arc that could explain the significance of this moment. But who cares about Shigi and the gang? What we really want to see is Bakuboy and Todoroki getting interviewed after they stop some villains upon receiving their provisional licenses. In typical fashion, Todoroki aces the interview and all of Bakugo's answers are cut from airing because they are too brutal and aggressive. After seeing Bakugo's terrible interviewing skills, the UA faculty decide it's high time to give these up-and-coming heroes a crash course on dealing with the media. And who better to bring in to help teach these kids about dealing with the spotlight than Miss Media herself, Mount Lady. And so, Class 1A get dressed up in their hero costumes and prepare to go plus ultra in this lesson on talking during interviews and press conferences. But before the kids head out to class, Midoriya sees a news report on his phone about how 9 days ago Daika City was attacked by a group of villains. Ida so lovingly informs us that the damage that was caused far surpassed that of even Kamino Ward. You know, the place where All Might punched All For One so hard, literal buildings got flung around like leaves in the wind. During this interview, the Beast Titan makes a guest appearance and explains how although the damage caused was terrible, the public don't seem to be blaming the heroes for this incident. Because after seeing Endeavor's fight with Nomu, they've started to realize that the heroes are putting their lives on the line for the greater good. Now, I also want to point out here that narratively, us not seeing the events of Daika City and seeing how it's broadcast works surprisingly well. Like, even though I already know what happened, I still find myself intrigued by the mystery behind it. Knowing that the villains got up to something off screen in a weird way makes the world feel more alive and lived in. Like, Japan is a big place, so it makes sense that the bad guys aren't always going to run into the hero school kids. So as much as I hate that they're temporarily skipping over the MVA arc, it does kinda work. But anyway, as the kids go out and practice their interviewee skills, we see each student performing at a different level of excellence. Todoroki is great and straight to the point, but he takes certain statements and analogies too literally. Bakugo, once again, is just terrible because he's too loud, arrogant, and can't help himself from calling everyone idiots. And Midoriya, funnily enough, also isn't too great, proving to be severely camera shy, and he rants too much about All Might. During these mock interviews, each student is told to show off their signature moves, as Mount Lady explains that yelling your super move's name aloud is not only great for marketing, but it also lets the civilians know that they are in good hands. Todoroki shows off his Ice Wall and Flash Freeze ability, but he doesn't use Flash Fire Fist. As he explains, that's not his move, but his dad's. When Midoriya goes up to show off his super moves, there is a whole ass 1.5 minute sequence where everyone is hyping up him using Black Whip. Like, legit, in this 20-minute episode, just under 1 minute and 30 seconds is spent going through every character and Midoriya's anticipation to see how far he has come with this move. And the answer is, not that far at all, as he produces a tiny whiff of energy, disappointing everyone. Now, I do get the joke, and I actually did giggle at this moment, but it went on a tad too long in my opinion. And with Midoriya's terrible display of power, 1A's class on dealing with the media comes to an end. And the story quickly cuts over to All Might, where we see him tirelessly working on getting information about One For All's previous users. Principal Nezu arrives into All Might's office and interrupts this study, however, as he informs All Might that once again the students of UA will be partaking in hero work studies. That's right, Class 1A are once again going out to work with some pro heroes. In a UA teacher-faculty meeting, Nezu also reveals that these hero work studies are actually going to be mandatory, as the Public Hero Safety Commission has announced that all hero school students must take part in these studies. The teachers are surprised by this request, as a request like this from the safety monthly commission would usually only take place if there was a need for heroes. But currently, there is a mass saturation of heroes out working. So they come to the conclusion that there must be something going on behind the scenes that calls for even more heroes. Following this meeting, the story then jumps to a couple of days later, where we see All Might, Tsukuichi, and Principal Nezu on a Zoom call, where they confirm that none of the UA students are the UA traitor. Or is that something the UA traitor would want you to think? And after this quick conversation, the story cuts back over to the UA dorms, where we learn that it's Christmas, and all of Class 1A are celebrating in style. Look at them all festive in their green and red Santa outfits. As we close in on the students' conversations, all of them begin talking about where they're going to go for work studies. Midoriya says that Gran Torino isn't available this time, and Sir Night Eye's agency, RIP Future Man, isn't currently taking on anyone either. So Midoriya has nowhere really to go. Kirishima then asks his BFF Bakugo if he's going back to Best Jeanist, and it's here where, through a really quick flash, we learn that Best Jeanist is apparently missing. But that aside, we also get a quick flashback to Bakugo's first internship with Jeanist, where we see that Bakugo made a deal to come back to him once he got his provisional license, and when he returns, he will return with a hero name. But since Jeanist is missing, Bakugo, just like Deku, tells everyone that he too has nowhere to go for his studies. And following this, the work studies talk stops. Aizawa shows up with an absolutely adorable Eri who's a little confused, but she's got the spirit, and episode 13 ends as the kids have a cracker of a time playing games and being jolly all through the night. All while a brand new music track plays in the background. Now, this song came out of absolutely nowhere. I was not expecting a whole new song to be made just for this one scene. Oh, and in the after credits scene, Todoroki asks Bakugo and Midoriya to join him in working with Endeavor for the hero work studies. So yeah, there's that too. Overall, this was an okay episode. There were some fun and goofy moments throughout, plus seeing all of Class 1A get to be jolly and happy and so full of life is always fantastic. However, the skipping of a whole arc came as a massive surprise, especially when a lot of fans were really looking forward to it. Now, I am pretty sure we are going to get to see it eventually animated, but still. Although, I will say in this episode, the skip did work pretty well, like with us seeing the Daika news reports from the public's perspective. It adds a bit of mystery and intrigue into what exactly happened. Plus, the glimpse of Shigaraki at the start of the episode was some fantastic foreshadowing as for what's to come. However, moments like Jeanist being missing just feel weird, and I'm curious how they're going to handle this skip in future episodes. Also, the pacing of this episode was very slow, like little to nothing actually happened. But I suppose that's what you get when you're just setting up the start of a new arc. Season 5 as a whole has been a bit of a downer. I don't think it's holding up to previous seasons at all, which is a huge bummer because the story that was skipped is one of the best arcs in the entire series and has massive consequences for the My Hero world as a whole. If the show doesn't pick up soon, this season is on the road to being the worst one yet. So let's hope the second half is full of all that good, juicy hero and villain stuff we love. Overall, I'd give this episode a 6 out of 10. I enjoyed Class 1A's fun, goofy shenanigans, but there was a lot left to be desired. But let me know what you thought of this episode. If you liked this video, don't forget to leave a like. For more My Hero content, subscribe to the Lunchtime Crew. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Plus Ultra.